Welcome, jungle friends. This is Storms. This is actually 0, 2, 3, and auxiliary. So, a reason I've done part of this on these channels is because I know that this is a lot of where a lot of the Zero News friends and the Zero News army will come, and the others won't. Um, and it's almost like having a members area in a way without having that, if that makes sense. But having the members area you got to pay for, because to have a members area on YouTube, I would have to charge you, which is fucking crazy. But that's the way it works. Um, so kind of that's why I yeah record it on here. You know, a few people will see it, and um, I'm a bit disgruntled, but I will I will just say a couple of disclaimers. I always say with the disclaimer generation, one of the disclaimers is I'm about to have a bit of a moan, but at the same time, I am fully aware that while I'm moaning about what is probably going to be sound quite trivial, I'm aware there are people out there dying of cancer, dying of starvation, and everything else. And I do feel very selfish moaning, but at the same time, we're all trapped in our own minds and our own bodies, and we've all got a right to moan when we feel like it. So, just that disclaimer out there. I know my luck may not be the worst in the world. All right. With that said, my sister's birthday today. 3 year anniversary of the launch of Zero News, not the conception of it. The conception of it was 5 years ago. With 3 years since the launch of Zero News, we jumped from Periscope to YouTube. Instantly blew up on YouTube. I mean, we had some luck. You know, I said we would need two things to succeed: adversity and luck. We've had both. Um, Let me just make sure I can get the comments up. Actually, I won't be able to see all the comments because for some reason StreamYard filters some out. But I see Jeremy. I see you. It's probably not going to get people on here anyway. Um, I'll see it later or something. So yeah. So what I haven't sort of mentioned to you guys about my like transport, I use the scooters, right? Well, because it's nobody's business and because I don't want to bore you to death. So I ended up with two scooters, right? So I haven't mentioned that to you, or maybe I have. I don't even know, but I just don't remember deliberately going out to mention that to you. But I ended up with two scooters. One was kind of like a backup, and one was my main one. So I predicted, and this is I don't know about you, but bad things happening is one thing. Being able to predict bad things happening and not being able to stop them is fucking maddening for me. I don't know if it's just me that's like it, but when I know someone's going to do something bad and they do it anyway, and they do it exactly the way that I thought they would, it makes me really angry. And if a situation pans out the way I expect it to, and it's bad, that makes me really angry because it's predictable and I couldn't stop it, and I find it absolutely maddening. If something bad happens and you couldn't see it coming, as much as I might be pissed off, I will accept that, well, there's nothing you could have done about it, or couldn't see that coming, or that's nobody's fault. So bear in mind, last year, these scooters started getting better, and I started to realise, Jesus Christ, my needs in terms of travel, other than for Zero News, are small. 4 miles one way, one beach. 4 miles the other way is another beach. All the places to work and everything else around here, right? And 1 mile to the New Forest, half a mile to the shop. Yeah. So a scooter that does about 30 miles is all I need. Yeah. Perfect. So last year, I sort of dabbled around with them. And obviously, you're going to go through a learning curve. And the first one I bought was shite and I paid for it. But it, that's a learning curve. Second one I bought, I loved. And something happened to it. I can't remember what happened. Oh, the tire split on it. So I was like, okay. So I got a different version of it, but I also got another bigger one, thinking it was going to go faster than that because they said it would. That ended up being a total fuck up. That was like 900 quid's worth of scooter that didn't do anything my other one didn't do. And my other one was like £500. I was like, fuck you. Are you ripping me off like this? So weeks and weeks and weeks, I went without a scooter last year during all the night. Eventually I did, if you may remember. I ended up going camping down the beach and I made good of it in the end. But this year we've had a terrible summer. We've got a week of nice weather, and there's no guarantee that we'll see any more nice weather until September after that. Not saying we won't, but right now there's no sign of it. So I also got to do some work towards the end of the week. So I knew that the next sort of few days. Oh no, I'm skipping a bit. Sorry. So this April. So I've had a scooter going all winter. So this April. Sorry if it's cutting out because the signal's very weak. This April, I said to someone, the sun's coming out. I fucking bet you something happens. I said, I've been riding around all winter on it. I said, this is when it's going to fuck me. In April, that same month, I can't remember how long after I said that. I really don't know. Could have been ages, but that same month, I get a puncture. Now, a puncture is not such a big deal, right? It is when you've got a scooter from China that uses 6-inch wheels. It's a problem when you're living in the sticks as well. So I had a backup. So the backup used for 3 weeks, developed a slow puncher. Brilliant. But that's at this point, I'm thinking, well, the weather's shit. I've got time. I'm looking into buying an electric bike instead, or going all out and getting a fucking amazing electric scooter. But you've always got the chance that the scooters are going to be made illegal. If that happens, the electric bike would be acceptable. So it's like, but the electric bikes are so expensive, you know? So it's like one chance to get it right. I have not got the sort of money to be able to buy it 2 or 3 times or get a shit one. So bear that in mind. So then I'm riding around with the bike with a slow puncher, scooter with a slow puncher, but it was really slow puncher because it was taking 3 days for it to go down. So I was like, well, this will hold for now. And then I knew we were going to have this lovely bit of weather coming up. And like I say, about halfway through, 3/4 of the way through this weather, I need to go and do some work anyway. So it was like, it was perfect time. And I thought, okay, I can at least say that I spent a couple of days down the beach. I can get out and film a couple of things. I can do a couple of things that I want to do. I can go to the forest, and I also can go down to see my sister. This morning, I was on the scooter all fucking ready, really early in the morning to go down to a place. It's a beautiful ride in the forest down to where my sister is. Yeah, so it's lovely. It's really nice. And I'm on the scooter, and I rode about 20 yards, and I just heard all this squeaking. I was like, what the fuck? The back the back wheel had such a bad puncture that I couldn't even put air in it. So not only the front one got a slow puncture, but the back one is completely mullered. And so I went and in panic ordered a inner tube from Amazon, which was, I think, totally the wrong one. And now I think I have actually managed to find the right ones. I'm not sure. Phoned everywhere in the vicinity. Nobody would touch it unless they'd sold one to you. And I'm like, you fucking pricks, you could do this in 10 minutes. And I was lucky because basically somebody told me, right, how about this for a shit thing to say? Rather than saying, no, we can't do it, somebody said to me, oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that scooter, mate. I was like, oh, how come? He was like, well, if it was during lockdown, he said, didn't have much business in that. He said, I probably would have done it. He said, but I've got plenty of business now. And he said, they're a nightmare to work on. So now I can't be bothered. That's a business, right? It's like a million different ways that he could have said that. And that was the worst. Um, so, but him saying that actually, when I was ringing around, I found a new bike shop that just opened not too far up the road. And I spoke to this guy, and he actually suggested this guy, and I told him what he said, and he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I said, but that's what he said. And I said, so F him. I said, I need some help. And then the guy was like, oh, we don't really fix scooters. I said, it's a puncher. And he was like, a puncher? I said, yeah, that's it. It's just a puncher. I don't need you to do any work on the actual bike. And he was like, oh, fucking hell. He said, that's different. He said, right. He said, if you can get on eBay, find the right tire. And I thought, oh, no, that's not going to happen. Then I'll fit it for you. I was like, seriously? I don't know if he's doing me a favor or whatever, but that was nice. That was nice. Took all fucking day, but it was nice that I at least sort of got to that stage. But the point was, I was going to be able to enjoy this week, go down the beach, get out, get down the shop, get down the shop because I struggle to walk. So that's all been taken away. Unless I went and bought another new scooter, which we've been having three, just to get it here for Friday, just so I can ride it around for 1.5 days. I'm not going to do that, am I? So I'm completely fucked during the 1 week of good weather that we may have. And like I say, it could actually stop. It could actually stop after a week and not come back. And that's very, very possible. I'm not saying it's definite, just very, very possible. And I just hate it. And again, I know this is a petty thing to moan about, but I hate it when this shit happens right when you expect it to. I think it's like that little scooter, as childish as it looks, and as much as I'm sure some people have a good old laugh behind my back, that is my mental health on wheels. Do you know what I mean? As I said, I am not a greedy person. My needs are few. So me being able to get to a couple of beaches, especially when it's nice, it's not about suntans and that, yeah? It's just about loving hot weather and finding that my body and my condition responds well to hot weather, as does my mind, yeah? Really, like when other people are complaining about how hot it is, I'm fucking walking miles and loving it, It's just something in me, and it's the only time I feel totally healthy. So, and then having the ability to get out to enjoy that, like I say, 4 miles one way, 4 miles the other way, and perhaps if I'm going for a ride around the forest, I might do 12 miles max. Yeah, that's it. That's not a big deal, is it? That's not. You don't even need a car or a motorbike for that. So I was really kind of happy with that as a solution. And like I say, we've had a shit summer, so you can't really blame everything on that. By the way, if they've got a funny background, that's deliberate. Just want to see if it would freak you out. But yeah, it's just it just sucks. It just sucks because I know that I'll get back. It will start raining, and God knows when. But the only good thing is, like I say, I've got someone to fix it. And like I said, I know there's loads more big problems in the world, but I do feel like I have to maximize every summer, whether I feel like every summer's day that's warm, whether I feel like it or not, I push myself out. Sometimes to a fault, sometimes stupidly. Like, we talk about the fact that you need to push yourself out sometimes, but because I've hidden away in the past and not come out, I've gone sometimes too far the other way, where I push myself out on days when I really shouldn't. And those days because so on days where you should push yourself, because you get better as the day goes on. On days that you shouldn't have gone out, because you feel worse every second. And they're rarer, right? But you have them. And that's the other thing about having a bit of transport of your own, is like, I could have gone to see my sister today, for instance. Let's say I had felt panic or anxiety. Instead of ruining anyone else's day by saying, oh, I need to lift home because I'm having a panic, and making a big drama of it, I could say, I need to pop off now. I might come back. Yeah? And I might come back. And boom. And it's just that independence and that lack of drama, just because you've got a bit of transport of your own, And for me, like I say, it's mental health on wheels. And I know that sounds probably so over the top, but it is over the top. I do have a strangely stronger connection to the weather than most people. I admit that, and I don't know why. Who gives a fuck? So there's that. But at the same time, like I say, after a long day of phoning and everything else, I did kind of find some luck, but kind of at my sister's expense, I feel, Anyway, So the other thing was, it was 3 years, as I said, podcast's been going, and gotta be honest, right? I know we've gone from 68,000 people a day to not that many. You're not even close, right? I've already talked about the channels having problems and stuff like that, whether they're manufactured by Google, whether people have gone off us, or whatever else. I don't know. What I do know is that I'm going to be honest with you, and if I sound entitled, I don't mean to. I don't feel entitled. If I sound like a diva, again, I don't mean to, and I hope that I don't come across that way. It's more about feeling like we were one unit, and now I'm feeling like that's bollocks, and that's why I've come here, because I want to talk to the Zero News Army and only them at the moment. Like I said to you about shutting it down, and I'll be honest with you, it's the kind emails and other things that made me think, and common sense as well, that made me think, no, let's leave it open, because we've got the interviews we're doing. When you do complete the videos you're working on, it's a platform to release them on. And don't shit on the Zero News Army. Don't shit on the people that have got you here and asked you not to stop, you know? Don't shit on them. Even if you can't produce the same show, and maybe you can, by the way, but even if you can't, don't shit on them. So we had a live the other day, and I felt quite good about that live, and I thought, let's keep going. Let's keep going, for the simple fact that people fucking deserve better from me than me just disappear. Okay, like I said, I've got projects that mean I need to keep disappearing, and there's nothing I can do about that. But when you think about it, I used to disappear for different reasons anyway, so you probably won't notice much of a difference in that respect. Just maybe I won't attend so many demos because I'll be doing work in other areas of our movement. So you know, it's all that's good. I'll be honest, and I've always, this is what's so galling in a way. I've always been nothing but honest, and that is what I've always been selling, myself and honesty. And when I write a title, I know it's not that interesting, it's not dramatic, but just 3 years of Zero News, yeah, and fucking 10 people show up, and all right, admittedly, it wasn't the video I wanted to make, and I was a bit pissed off when I saw that, and we were having a problem getting a signal out, yeah, but nobody that didn't click on that knew that, so that doesn't give them an out. And that was about the lowest. I mean, we've had some lower rated videos recently. No, not lower rated. Our video rating's very high. Our video watches are low. We're actually getting rated up really highly. This is what I don't understand. The video content is being appreciated more, but less people are watching it. Some people say it's got shadow ban written all over it. I don't know because I don't want to use that as an excuse for just being a failure. But what I do know is, after 3 years, spending 9 grand, and especially in the last 2 years, the majority of that coming out of my pocket, and that's fine. I chose to do this. I'm not bitter about that. And all the fights that we've been in, and all the things that we've done, and everything else, I felt like I felt, again, it might sound entitled, it might sound diva-ish, and I really don't mean it. I don't mean it like that, but I thought, if all of these kind comments that I've received over the years were meant, then the people that saw it would have been there. And I guarantee you that they saw it and thought, nah, the title's not interesting, fuck that. And it's like, I wouldn't want this back, by the way, because it was embarrassing and I used to find it uncomfortable. But we've gone from people fighting to have a fucking selfie with me, which was always ridiculous anyway, because we had a channel of about 3,000 people when that happened. I was like, I'd never got that. But I was new kid on the block. I realise that now. If you're a new kid in the block, you're flavour of the month, right? I get it. It's not an issue. It really isn't. My ego's not that big. But it felt like a slap in the face today. I'm gonna be honest. It felt like a fucking slap in the face. It felt like, fuck you, Zero News. Even though you got GB News that sold out on everybody, yeah, already, and you got more proof all the time of people that can't be trusted. The fucking one place that can be trusted, and we can't even get just a couple of hundred people on to fucking recognize that we've been doing this for 3 years and we've worked fucking hard. And I don't just mean me, I mean all the people involved, all the people that have helped us, whether it be Team Tommy to Bolton to Archer to all the people that I've named before, people that have been Stuart, who's been with us when we've gone. Archer that took me up and ended up not very well. And do you know what I mean? We've been through all these adventures, all this stuff for no one to give a fuck. And then I'm supposed to give a fuck about keeping the channel open for people that claim all this shit and then are nowhere to be seen. Don't get me wrong, the people that do care and mean it, they'll catch up with the video. But go take a look at yourself. How many catch-ups do you really see? Not enough for a video that is basically, 3 years is a milestone to be able to survive in a movement like this. Yeah, and where we've got to, the funny thing is, when I was getting more views, the videos I was doing were nowhere near as capable in terms of the content. And maybe it's me, maybe I've changed, I don't know. I do accept that maybe the blame is full square on my shoulders, all of it, 100%, because it's my show, I run it, so I accept that is possible. But I also just think people have got short fucking memories, and it's like, what have you done for me lately? That's how I feel people are. What have you done for me lately? And I can answer that. Run around fucking London time and time again with a fucking muscle wasting disease is what I've done for you lately. Yeah, and I didn't do that for me because I don't particularly like fucking walking 9 miles when I've got a thing like this, This isn't me saying anybody owes me, by the way, because that's how some people would phrase this, and I don't believe that. Nobody owes me nothing, yeah? Nobody owes me nothing. And I don't owe anybody nothing except the people that I've made promises to. And that is why, as I said, it made me stop and think that I should perhaps keep open because I have made promises, But it did, I just being honest with you, that felt like a slap in the fucking face. And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing for me to have turned that camera on for a particular moment like that and have 9 people pop up and stand there feeling like an absolute joke. After all we've been through and everything, It's not like, oh, we deserve better or anything like that. It was just a slap in the face. And yeah, I'm supposed to, again, and I'm telling you this, not because I'm butthurt, but because I'm trying to figure out a way forward. Like, a lot of you have said to me, oh, don't give up, don't give up. But why should I take that? Why should I keep putting money into this to be treated as an outcast in a lot of cases because I won't toe a line here or I won't toe a line there or whatever? And there's an audience level that when you go below, you realize that you're never going to make an impact. You're just like these other idiots that have hung around me over the last year that have these little channels that don't do anything other than just hack on each other. That's never going to be what my channel does. As I said, I'd rather sink it than see it devolve to something like that. It's a shame. We've got the best mods. I think we've got one of the best intents out of everybody. Not saying the best. I'm not trying to be, I think that we've overcome most technical problems. I think that we've introduced some really good stuff. You've seen some interviews of ours on a certain Telegram page. We're really growing into it, and I think the interviews are good. And I don't normally say anything that I do is good, but I think the interviews are pretty good. I've got to say that's the one thing I am quite proud of. The only thing, actually. But I will also say this: the fact that I don't go live at a regular time has always hurt me, and I should have found a way to have gone regularly live, because when I was going live when I started, I was going live nearly every day. So people always knew where to find me. And that is a great way of building community up. And we did need to build a new community. And that's where I dropped the ball. Is that what I should have done at that moment was I should have started going on live every fucking day like I used to and build a new community and sling out the, well, we did kind of, you know what I mean though, yeah? And keep the good people, obviously. And I didn't do that. So I realized that that was a mistake. So that's my fault. Definitely that's my fault. And perhaps if I'd done that, we would have built a new community with new and old members by now. And I didn't do lives. I was uploading videos because I wasn't feeling confident in myself and stuff like that. So, you know, again, I take my share of the blame, which is huge because again, I'm responsible for this show. So the blame I take is huge. But it still doesn't stop it feeling like a slap in the fucking face. And if you think about it like this, right, it's not that I think that we deserve it. It's that if you came out your door and 40 friends were waiting for you for 3 years, and then one day you came out and there was 3 out there, it would just come as a bit of a shock, wouldn't it? Regardless of whether you deserved it, didn't deserve it, anything else. It would just be a bit, and if they were there for a specific positive reason to engage with you, you feel even worse. Oh yeah, how you doing? All right, good to see you, mate. Yeah. Yeah. So, am I being a diva? Because it's not like I don't need my channel to be top dog. Never did. That's why I spent so much time helping other people. So I don't care about that. I think the interviews, like I say, they stand up for themselves. If you're going to do a video for 9 people, at one time I would have said, if just one person's enough. But what I've learned is it's not. It's just not. Because you're broadcasting, and broadcasting means you are pushing something out to an audience. And so for me, to climb back into a place where I've got 5 people coming on or something, it's not an option. It's just not an option. Because, you know, unless, like I say, unless I'm prepared to go live every day and build up a new community. But the thing of it is, as I said, I'm doing other work at the moment. I just can't do that. So you can see the quandary I'm in as much as, you know, a lot of people say they want me to keep it open. But I can't have too many more days like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, we had the live the other day. It was lovely. It was really enjoyable. But that was fucking embarrassing today, you know? And like I say, don't get me wrong, a lot of it's in the title. Otherwise, we would have got clicks, but they wouldn't have engaged. But we didn't get the clicks because, well, it's not news. It's just Zero News is 3 years old, big deal. Whereas last year, that would have been a big deal. And the year before, that would have been a big deal. You see what I'm saying? Something's changed. So, and yet we've committed no crime in the meantime. So I'm like, well, you know, if we've bored people to death, then yeah, that should have been more obvious. So I don't know. I'm certainly not blaming anybody. The only person that could be to blame is me. But I am pissed off at people. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry if that pisses anyone off, but that's why I've come here to talk, because I know that the people that will come here are the people that are stuck by me anyway. And why the fuck should I turn the camera on tomorrow? What drive and see, this is the thing that people perhaps don't understand. You are my drive and my motivation. You are. Well, obviously the subjects and the things we fight for are, yeah? But what I mean is, that's one thing to have those goals of fighting these big injustices and everything else. You need the fuel to fight that. You need to be outraged and angry enough to want to do something about it. That's so true. But I used to listen to sports stars say things like, oh, if it wasn't for the crowd, I couldn't have done it. And I used to think, what a load of bollocks. Stop blowing smoke up their ass. until I run this channel. And when I hear sportsmen now saying, "Oh, I fed off the energy of the crowd," I get it, because when we've had loads of people on here, and we have had, you do feed off them, and the ideas you get, and the excitement you get, the effort you put in, just the whole thing just goes up, and you are obsessed. You become obsessed, not for their adulation, not for their applause, but because they're engaged, and you want to offer them more engagement. It's a thing where you just want to keep offering something worthwhile, something engaging. And if you can't do that, try and offer something different or interesting, or just, it's a buzz. It's a buzz, and it's a motivation. And when you know those people are behind you, you're even more motivated, because you're like, now you start to make promises to people and individuals you're starting to get to know, and you know how passionate they are, or perhaps one of them's told you in an email a story about them and perhaps their bad experiences, stuff like that. That all motivates you, makes you suddenly go, fuck this, I'm fighting this. Do you know what I mean? On your worst days, when you feel like quitting, you read these emails from people, and you see these things and you think, fuck me. Or you switch on, you do a live, and you think, oh, I don't know if I feel like doing this anymore. And then 120 people will turn up, and you have a massively brilliant conversation, and you think, I can't stop doing this. How, I'd be a prick. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep fighting. That's how it works for me. I can't speak for other people, but that's how it works for me. And it really does fire you up. The support fires you up. And maybe I shouldn't need it. Maybe it's weak. I'm not saying that I do need it, by the way, but I'm saying the advantage it gives you is, I always thought was bullshit, but it's real. You feed off people. You really do feed off their energy, their excitement, their passion. You feel it. And when I see some of the posts that people make when they're really passionate, if I agree with that post, my God, I will feel it in my heart. I'll feel it in my head. I'll need to go away and do something with it. Or, Jeremy sends me like emails and stuff, and I don't get to cover as many as I like, but some of them I've had to burst on the internet, and come and say something. And it's that engagement, and that backwards and forwards that. And admittedly, I haven't bought the two phones out for a while, and perhaps that's another thing that I should have done, is that we should have kept trying to do the call-ins and that. But the group has ruined a lot of that. Do you know what I mean? But it is something that I always wanted to bring back in. Just not just doing interviews with high-profile people, but everybody, give everybody a voice. That was always the plan, always what I wanted to stick to, and really where we was working towards getting back to. But honestly, and it is just where I'm only saying this is the way I feel at this second. I'm not saying this is the way I feel generally about people, because the way you feel at this moment and the way you feel overall is two different things. But the way I feel at this moment is fuck that, fuck a lot of it. Why should I bother? Why should I bother getting up tomorrow morning to worry about what to put on the camera, to be insulted? It's, God, that sounds so diva-ish. I don't know how else to explain it though. I'm using the vocabulary that I have, and it's probably not accurate to what I'm trying to say. If you were running a bakery and you kept getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and making 18 loaves of bread, and you kept selling 3, wouldn't you just, like, in the end think, why am I doing this? Let's just make 3 loaves of bread then, and just calm things down, spend less money, and put less effort in. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the same fucking principle. It's the same principle. But at the same time, like I say, I've got if it wasn't for the fact that I've got these other projects to work on, and this is what I'm trying to get across. I think this is the end game here. I've got these other projects to work on, these other videos to do, and my time would be much better spent on them than it would sometimes doing this. But I was okay with coming and doing this because I thought, let's not shit on people. But if I'm one of the first people, if I come to your house and I don't feel welcome, if you don't want me there, you won't need to ask me to leave. I'll be the first fucker out the door. You'll never need to ask me to leave. Yeah, I'm not welcome. I'm gone. And that's kind of how I feel in this situation. It's like if I'm not welcome, I'll go. That's fine. That won't even be taken offensively. But just tell me. Do you know what I mean? Just be honest and say, no, well, you've done what you can do, Tom. That's it. You know, you've got nothing else to offer. You say the same shit or whatever the problem is. You know, if there is one, and I'm saying if there is one. But yeah, it's just, you know, how do I carry on? How do I keep a promise to people to carry on when I need that participation? You know, it's not it's not black and white. I know some of you will say just grit your teeth and work through it. What if there is no through it? What if this is it? Then this becomes a complete and utter waste of time that could be spent on making better videos. Seriously. I don't know. And I don't want this to come across as a sulky video. It is a genuine little conundrum I'm feeling in at the moment. Obviously, today makes me just want to walk. I'm sure you can understand that, right? Without me looking like a diva. Same time, I don't want to walk because of the fact that I still believe we've got something to offer, and I still think that that when we do have the watches on, we have some of the best watches around. We've got the best mods around, but I can't keep throwing money at it, and I can't. Yeah, and I'm not gonna. I've never chased people. I've never chased people to come on my channel, and I'm not about to start. You know, it was always the case. If you like it, then watch. You know, so. Oh, I don't really know what I'm not really asking you anything. I don't really know what the end game is here, except to say this, perhaps. Please don't hate me if too many days of getting 10 people on is too much for me and I just go, fuck it. Fuck off. I'm done. Please don't be pissed at me and think that I've dumped you. Please understand that it's just such a large fall that it will affect the other work that I'm doing and bring it down. Do you know what I mean? So we'll feel like we've crashed right to the very bottom. I'll feel like it's been destroyed. And yeah, there's still some people I hold responsible for certain things as well. So I don't want to be getting bitter over that either. So, you know, I guess I'm just saying that, you know, I try for now, but if that just becomes common occurrence, I'm gonna fuck off. And I won't even make a goodbye out of it because honestly, I'm not gonna be slapped in the face twice. You know what they say? Fool me once. So yeah, so if that happens, I just want the right people to know how grateful I am for everything, for every memory, for every moment, for every penny that you helped me get to places with, every bag that someone carried for me, every time someone took the time out to do an interview with me, every single moment of your time that you've ever given to me. I want to thank you so much for. You do not know what it has meant to me and what it has meant to the fight of me being able to continue doing this. And also, as I said, I'm not done yet. And when I am done, I'm hoping there's some things I'll be able to tell in retrospect that will also give people who suffer some of the same conditions as some of you and that I do, hope that you don't need to be 9 to 5 to make it. And I want to tell a story to them that I can't tell now and that hasn't happened yet anyway. But I'm halfway through it, and I'd love to be able to show them, you know, you're not done. Like, even if your doctor, even if everybody tells you around you that you're done and give up on your dreams or grow up or this or that, like, that's on you. Don't get me wrong, so are your failures. Like me with this is my failure, but that's on you. And if you decide to take that on, that's on you, but it's also your choice. And if you're in a position where perhaps you can't work, or you can't have kids, or you can't do something that is really affecting your life, and maybe depression or something else is a part of your life, whatever else, the temptation is to think that someone like you can never make it to a place of greatness or of importance, or of, when I say importance, I mean important work, important, do you know what I mean? Of making a difference. There we go. That's what I was trying to get to. And I really would love to be able to tell a story, might be in a couple of years' time, but tell a story where I can say to a hell of a lot of people out there that feel like they're stuck, no, you're not. Because if a weak, pathetic human being like me can do it, then I'm damn sure that some of the people that I've met that are much stronger than me, who think they're stuck, you could do it as well. And for younger people that feel like they're stuck, you could do it as well. And, you know, we've grown a channel, we've made friends, we've put ourselves in a position of trust. Hello, mate. We put ourselves in a position of trust. You know, we've done lots of good things. Whether people want to accept it or not, don't give a shit. I can prove it. So, you know, and most people know what we've done, and we also know that we also have underachieved in other ways because there's things that we haven't done that we would like to have done. You know, and again, you take your licks. You accept what you got wrong, and but yeah, so many people are responsible for the fact that this show didn't stop a long time ago. So many people are responsible for the fact that I didn't stop a long time ago. Maybe even that I didn't tap out a long time ago. Honestly, if we're just being honest, and if this is, in case this is one of the last times I do this, right? Probably doing this has kept me in the game. I mean, the game, yeah? And so, I really do thank all the people that have helped create what was, I think we had one of the best communities on YouTube when it was at its height. I really do. And it was torn apart by petty, bitter rivalry. And what a shame. Because the thing of it is, it's like, if all the channels had survived, instead of trying to rip each other down, you could have watched us all, you know? And there was a time when people actually loved that. They used to love being able to go from one channel to the other to the other. It was a cool time. It was a cool time. Perhaps things have moved on from there, eh? Perhaps people now need to choose their little favourites because they feel like they need to be loyal in a way that perhaps they didn't before. I don't know. I don't really care about that side of things. Like I say, it's just sad when I look at the analytics and I see that there's more people agreeing with us than ever, but the views are down more than they have been in a long time. And I could show you. I'm not ever going to, because I won't lower myself to it. But I could name names and I could show you a graph. And on this graph, I will show you exact dates and times the channel got attacked. And you'll see the channel go from 68,000 views a day to 2. And you'll recognize all these dates if I was to point them out to you. And again, I don't want to be bitter and realize as well, a lot's happened since then, and we went through a massive growth spurt after then. So I've got to bear all that in mind. But I just feel like the trust was lost. And trust is the backbone of what this podcast is supposed to be about. It was an experiment in honesty. I come out, I'm really honest. And that, in turn, has made other people really honest with me. Once that has been broken, even if it's falsely broken, it doesn't matter how honest I am, people won't see that honesty. And I think that's partly happened because it's like, well, one, everyone says they're honest, don't they? But two, because once someone's disparaged you, people don't know. People don't know if it's true or not. Is it true? Did he? Didn't he? Even though you come up with the proof, nobody ever sees the proof. Nobody ever cares to look at it. Even it's just once you're in doubt, you're in doubt. And yeah, I've come on here I swear to you now, I've come on here and to the best of my ability, I've told the truth where I can. Now, obviously, when it's somebody else's business or when it's sensitive, I have to be careful what I say. But wherever I can, I've told 100% truth where I have been able to, which is in a lot of places. And I've come as an open book with an open heart, which is why I'm always vulnerable, obviously. One second. Sorry. I do wear my heart on my sleeve. You guys know that. But at the same time, that used to be something that people were interested in. They were interested. They had seen that kind of honesty before. And now I can honestly say to you guys that there's a massive part of an audience that we've got now that wouldn't know honesty if it hit them in the face. And do you know how I know that? Because I've hit them in the face with that honesty multiple times and they haven't even noticed it. I honestly can tell you that it's so much harder to tell a truth to you, me to you, on here when the wind's blowing the wrong way. Let's put it that way, yeah? It's so much harder for me to just say to you, A is B and B is C. It's so much harder to get that message across and get you to believe it when the wind's blowing a certain way. It's crazy, shouldn't be like that, but it is. We're in a very, whether any, I've told other people this, whether you like it, whether the other YouTubers like it, whether the activists like it, I'm not interested in what they like. Truth is what's important. All of them have got an ego. All of them are part of this business. This business is the entertainment business. Okay? It's just a fact. And if you weren't entertained, you wouldn't support their activism because you wouldn't be interested by it. So it is the entertainment industry. See what I'm saying? It really is. And that's what we got ourselves involved in. And a lot of people really do jump, they get all shitty about that. It's like, you can get as shitty as you want, but it is the entertainment industry. Yeah? And what you're doing with activism when you're on YouTube or whatever, you're trying to mix the two together to try and make something entertaining, but also telling the truth. It's not an easy thing to do because it's like making the news a must watch. Do you know what I mean? And this thing major goes off. It's a difficult thing to do, but I think many of us have done all right. I've already said about the way that things can be filmed, should be filmed. Done a little example of it with the Voice of Wales. But honestly, the fact that nobody else has worked that out yet and gone out and done anything by themselves is absolute amazing to me. And this is what I mean. It's also hard to walk away when you realize that people are either stupid or just not making the effort that they should be to produce things properly. And it's like, for fuck's sake. Like, honestly, you get to a point where you think, do I have to do this myself? Like, I'm not the best at everything. So having to do it all myself is actually not, it's not something to brag about. It's a real fucking stretch for me. That's why I'm trying to give it to other people to do. You know, I conceive it, you achieve it. Sorry for the corniness, but you know what I'm saying. Because I just give you the know-how, and it's tiring. It's tiring. I mean, maybe there'll always be a place for me to come and have a moan because I might just need to do it for myself. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna have a look at your comments if there are any because I just feel rude if I don't. But if I skip through them quite quick, don't think I'm being rude. I'm just a bit embarrassed having this conversation. But I also hope that you understand where I'm coming from. I hope you understand how grateful I truly, truly, truly am. And what a sad way to say goodbye, really. But but if it works out like that, then I just want you to know, the people that have supported me, that I am doing what I want to do, and that I couldn't be in a better place for making a difference in this fight that we're in. So, for those of you that do stand by me and you do care, I just want you to know that. I want you to know that, relatively speaking, I'm actually in a really good place. It's just a shame the channel's gone down the shitter. Yeah, because it would have been good to have that to go along with everything else, to share, not to share the risk, but share the wealth. But because people haven't given me a chance to do that. They're all going to miss out, and I can't. Yeah, I can't tell you how much, but that's not my problem. Um, so yeah, it's just a huge thank you, really. The only thing I can really feel after getting all that off my chest is just gratitude, because I set out a goal on a tiny little platform called to Periscope. We had about 5 viewers, and we went to the point where we had 68,000 a day, and we were getting out there. We've done a lot of things. We've worked with a lot of people. We've helped a lot of people get off the ground. Um, a lot of people have helped us, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of what we've done with people. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of so many fucking people in this movement that have put their money where their fucking mouth is. Um, people like Danny Roscoe. Um, just so many people, and I'm glad that I have met the people that I have met, because okay, I've fallen out with some people, they've turned out to be jerks. Well, you need to know that, right? But the people that have remained good are some of the best people I've ever met in my life, and that I can't regret. So, do you know what I mean? It's not all sadness and stuff for me. It's more anger and frustration, really, if I'm honest with you, about the channel. But in terms of everything else, I've got good friends, I've got good colleagues, and I have got, a lot of work to do. So from that from that perspective, I've got less to lose than other people in some ways. Um, so the question is, I suppose the question is, if there is a question, do I even bother to try and do those lives? Or do I just fucking let go? Just let go rather than punish myself by watching the ship go down. Do you know what I mean? I don't need that right now. I, yeah, there's other things I could be doing, that are positive, I mean. And I think having too much, having negativity around, you've got to deal with that. How, even if it's a ruthless blow that you've got to strike. Anyway, quick catch up. Like I say, this will unfortunately not show me all your comments. So hey Jeremy Malley, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for your continued emails. And really, I know you said to me before, you practically don't agree with any of my political opinions. So the fact that you've stuck with us so long, and I've always been a voice of reason and gentle and everything else, always been really appreciated. Um, there's so many people I need to say that about though, but seriously, you've been a good guy and really, really appreciate the things that you've done. I remember the day when you got those sandwiches and stuff and bottle of water and that for me. That was really, really, yeah, it was like one of the nice things that happened that you just don't see coming. Awesome. Um, hey Archer, good to see you, my man. Hey Looney, yeah, it certainly is. Hey Babs, thank you, Babs. I don't. Yeah, no, Sorry, I just reading something a certain way. Good for me on what there, Archer? I need your eyes. You need my eyes? What do you need my eyes for? Yeah, it's true, Keith. But I know, the pressure started. The thing is, the pressure started to go away, and I just started to feel comfortable doing it. That's the sad part. Do phone-ins, yeah. I thought about it all, but here's the thing, right? And I may be just be being a bit awkward saying this. So if I am, I apologize. But I just feel like what's the point doing phone-ins if I was watching? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. But that I do realize people will hear that I'm doing a phone-in and then come on. So I'm being a bit not facetious, but maybe defeatist is the word. Hey, was that McClear? Was it? I can't. I haven't got my glasses on. Was there? I don't know what's happened, but I hope you're okay. Thank you. I need to hear this today. Bless you. Bless you. I hope you're okay. To this person. Hope you're okay. I remember that. I do remember that. Man, do you remember? That's the one thing that we didn't do. Me and Archie were going to get on and we have a trip down memory lane, and perhaps we should do that. Um, very true, Electro Wave. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Um, and this thing as well, we've got basically the same mods we had when we started. Yeah, there's no money involved for them. They have come and backed me up and done that for fucking 3 years for nothing. And thank you doesn't really feel like enough for something like that. But do you know what I mean? I'll never forget that they did that ever. I'll never forget that they did that. Um, that's time out that you've taken. That yeah, I'll never forget that ever. Hey, Rachel, Rachel, you can still have your frothy coffee. Oh, bless you, Rachel. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Thank you, Keith. Well, it seems like that recently. They have for Zero News, perhaps not for me, but for Zero News, um, which is a sad thing. Maybe, Archer, maybe. No, you're not blocked, Rachel. You're good. The only person I can see on here is Rachel. Have you made sure you're on live chat and not top chat on your chat options? Because otherwise, it will crush you. The other thing as well, I'm broadcasting 3 channels at once, so you may be on a different channel than Rachel. So you might not be able to see each other's comments, but I can see all of yours because they all get funneled to me. So that's probably what it is. You're probably not on the same channel as each other. Free speech is the thing. You're so right, Rachel. You're so fucking right. Free speech is the number one thing. Everything else, everything else branches from that, and people still don't get it. They talk about all these different things they need to fight. It's like free speech is number one. Without free speech, you cannot fight any other battle unless you're going to use guns or pitchforks. So, it's important. And I hadn't finished these battles. Um, you know, um, yeah. But the only thing I will say is that strangely, on other platforms, and I haven't tried loads of platforms, but on the few that I've tried, we're growing very quickly on there. Now that's weird. Um, I'm not saying there's loads and loads of platforms, but I'm just saying that just a couple that I've tried, we're growing really quickly. TikTok, I mean, I don't even like it, and we're growing rapidly on there, like really rapidly. Um, I've rarely released that much on there. So if I was unwatchable now, that would be evidenced by the fact that nobody would watch it anywhere, surely. So this is what confuses me. And this is what gives me pause for thought, because otherwise it's just a simple case of, oh, fuck off. But, so I don't know. I don't know. Um, but I do know that I can't allow something like this to make me unhappy. Do you know what I mean? Especially when I've got so many good things going on. So, yeah. Anyway, so if I put that up on the screen there, if I should just show you guys, look, you see each other's comments there. Maybe you can't see them in the chat that you're in. That's because you're in different channels, I reckon. That's my guess. And again, McClear, thank you so much for being so kind. Um, you know, um, I wish I knew what to do to keep us all going, because we have had some good times, and yeah, and I'm grateful for every single one of them. And I tell you what, for every bit of suffering I've been through, for every fucking bad thing that's happened, for every disappointment, for every hard day, for every bit of pain, I don't regret none of it. I wouldn't give none of it back to you. I absolutely loved it all. Um, and I would do it again in a heartbeat for all of you. I really would. I used to love the fact that people would say to me, "Oh, it makes me feel like I'm there." And when I'd see that, that meant more to me than any compliment that could have been given to me, because it was what I wanted for you, you know, to make you feel like you were there, especially if you couldn't get there. And that to me was the biggest compliment, because it was like I didn't say it, but that's what I was aiming for. And when I actually got it, I was fucking shocked to hear people say, "Yeah, that felt like I was there." I was like, I just sort of kept my mouth shut, but I was like, "Fuck, you did it!" You know, that was a great feeling. Um, yeah, and I've always treasured that. And every time someone says it, I treasure that, because that means more to me than a compliment, because it's like it was aimed for. It was going to be very hard to achieve. Somehow we did it, and I still don't really know how. Um, yeah, good times, you know. I've been, don't get me wrong, it's been stress since I started this podcast. You know, it's not fool around, but there's been a lot of fucking high points, and as I said, the highest is still happening. Um, I just was hoping to take you guys all along for the ride, um, because of the party's just getting started. But you can't force people. Um, and so I just wanted to say I love you all, and you've meant a hell of a lot to me. And yeah, I'm not saying goodbye. I'm just saying you've meant a hell of a lot to me. So if I do disappear, I've said this now, and I've said thank you now, and I've said how much I love you now, and now I've thanked my mods and everybody else who's ever helped us. And I can then, if I need to switch off, I can do so without conscience of not appropriately treating the people that have treated me well, you know, which is a lot of you. So understand that I say I love you, and that sounds like a bit of a weird thing to say, but I'm not a people person, and yet I am. I'm not a fan of being up close to loads of people, kind of, yet I am. And you know, I fucking hate people, and yet I love them too. And it's this journey has enabled me to see how much I love people, and how much I want to protect them, how much I want to help them, and how much more I think of people than I realized I did. How much more of a human being I really am than I realized. How much more sentimental that I am than I realized I was. How 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 much how much I'm not interested in someone saying you're cool so much as saying you filmed that so I could be there. You know, um, all of that is so precious, and I've learned so much. And so many of you have brought that knowledge to my table because I was too stupid to know it, and I thank you for that as well. There's so much to thank you for. You have no idea. It's been 3 years, 3 years of learning, of getting better, and of having you guys pumping information my way and just helping me out and backing me up. I can't I can't go out on a bit of note when I think about that. Do you know what I mean? You guys have been fucking amazing, and yeah, I just hope you know how grateful I am. Just in case, as I said, just in case, I just hope you know how grateful I am. Um, but for fear of becoming a real soppy sausage dog, I think I should probably stop it there, don't you? Why am I giving up? Because no one's watching. Because no one cares. No one's watching. They've moved on, I guess. I guess they moved on. You know, it's okay. They're allowed to. You know, I can't. Don't. I'm not. How do I put this? As much as I felt like I was slapped in the face and everything else, I can't blame people for getting bored of this channel or wanting to move on. It's, you know, I just thought we would have attracted a new audience, and I don't know, something's not connecting, and I'm not quite sure where. Um, you know, so that's why it's, and I'm not saying that I am giving up. I'm just saying that in case, in case I wanted to say this all today, because there may be tomorrow and there may not, and there may be the day after and there may not, and so on. But I just needed to say this now because you've all been so fucking brilliant. It's so, yeah. I am an introvert, and it's funny how the extrovert comes out of me only when I turn the camera on. I hide behind the camera. You know that, don't you guys? When I'm at a demo, I hide behind the camera and I hide behind the microphone. So I may be stood in front of the camera, but I'm hiding in plain sight. I'm a parody, not a parody of myself, but I am a gimmick of myself. And then when the camera goes off, I am feeling quite a lot of stress and I need to get away from the environment, you know? Um, but I've still loved it. I still loved it. I still loved knowing that guys have seen it and wanted to see it. And I really love delivering. Do you know that? Because I've had such a problem in my life keeping promises because of, the health problems I have and things like that. I have such a problem keeping promises. Every single time I said I would do something, every single time that I've done it, it feels fantastic to know that, like, when you guys have said, "Oh, you going to so and so," and I do, and I keep that promise, it feels fantastic to know that I've done that because I know, because I'll see you on that day and I see you come on, I see you watch, and I'm like, I'm made up. I'm made up to see you guys saying, like I say, the stuff like you say, like, fucking hell, I feel like I'm there. And I'm like, yes, yes, it's in a sense of achievement there that you've gone out and you've gone and got exactly what these people asked you to go and get. You've gone out and got what your audience wanted you to get. There's something really powerful about that because it then becomes a two-way relationship. So thank you, Keith. If only people knew just how much of a mess I was, they would never have believed I was capable of this. I'm sure Archer had his doubts, not because he doubts me, but because he knows how bad that I've been. I'm sure I know I had my fucking doubts, big doubts. And the fact that I've managed to do this is a fucking miracle, honestly. Is it this channel? No, it's so the Zero News main channel, McClear, the Zero News main channel, Zero News One. The email, my email is this is zero news at gmail.com. So this, as in the word this, is as in is, zero, spelt the word zero, news. So it's all one word at Gmail, sorry, hang on, at gmail.com. There's possibility that that's true. But then in the background, I've got a lot of people I'm working with who are not down those rabbit holes because we're all down them together. So I don't know. I don't know. It's very difficult. Yeah, exactly. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? That was that was intense for me because I so badly wanted to get down there and film it, you know? Hey, so the phone in for mental health thing, I've sort of tried before and it's sort of picked up. And the mental health thing, I will confess to you, I haven't put my best effort into it. But that's because I felt like my own mental health was being so compromised. I wasn't sure if I was doing more damage than good. And I needed to know that I was at a level where I could do good, not damage. But also it's been difficult to find time. I'll be honest with you, it's difficult to run one channel. Um, but um, definitely, you know, I hope that the mental health stuff, because I always feel like the mental health stuff sounds very, very like I'm just like me, 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 me. So if it does help someone, that's good because I'm only talking about me because someone might relate. And if someone does relate, that's going to make them feel better about being them. And so when it comes to the mental health channel, that part's been important to me. And with that one, numbers aren't so important because that's about that is about the individual. That is about helping an individual. It's about making a video and one person takes what they need from it. That's fine with me. Because if that one person's the person that needed it that day, that's cool. I'm okay with that, Yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it? To think you guys have been here that long. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. So, but see, the thing is, my take on the my so that's a very good point. And my take on it is this: is at the moment we don't cover mental health on the right because, well, you tell me, right? Unless it's a veteran's mental health, then we might step in. Otherwise, we don't, right? And here's the thing: when we do that, we leave mental health in the hands of the leftists, people that are mostly or far leftists, people that are mostly mentally disturbed. So you got the mentally disturbed trying to tell the mentally disturbed what to do, right? A recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what is happening. But the right seems to be content to sit on his ass, do absolutely nothing about it because we don't talk about mental health. And while that's happening, the left are controlling all the social sciences, all the research. That's why all these genders and everything else has come up because nobody stood and fought in the social sciences other than Jordan Peterson and a few other people. Nobody's fought to have a balance there. So they're also taken over by leftists. So people in this country are leaving their mental health and their kids' mental health to fucking crazy far leftist ideas. And it's like, if that is not worth mixing politics with mental health, I don't know what is. But you can't, you know, you're not spamming. You're not spamming at all. You're not spamming at all. Take it more about the way government's stocking people. Yeah, yeah, good advice. Mental health videos are very. Oh, sorry, it's not going off. 1 second. Mental health videos are very helpful. You may only talk about yourself, but tells me I'm not on my own. Well, that's what I want. We may have different problems, but it can get very lonely with mental health issues. Yeah, and that's the thing is that I always try and tell people is that it doesn't matter whether you're on a desert island with £1 million in the bank, or if you grew up in a ghetto with a gun to your head. Suffering is suffering to a certain degree, and you both can feel exactly the same thing, exactly the same moment, for reasons that are explainable on one side and perhaps not so much on the other. And when we all realize that, we're a lot better off for it, you know? Absolutely, absolutely, Michaela, and thank you for being so sweet. But yeah, absolutely, it does go hand in hand, and you're actually the only person that's got back to me and said that and realized that. Um, so thank you. That means a lot that you see that because it's very frustrating being where I'm at politically and seeing the left run rampant with these subjects and the right just sitting on their asses doing absolutely nothing. And I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. Um, yeah. And perhaps when I'm not in a position of doing these other jobs, perhaps I'll do something absolutely fucking crazy to raise awareness. Yeah. Perhaps I've got one more stunt left in me. And when I say stunt, I mean physical stunt. Maybe I've got one more big fucking bounce in me, one more big bump, something that will get people's attention. Maybe I've got one more big bump in me where we could do something. We'd have to plan it out. And a lot of time, you got to understand, a lot of time I'm on my own, in terms of doing the extra show content, which is fine. I mean, I'm not bitter about that either. That's in some ways, sometimes that works out better, because I do work a lot from the top of my head. So, um, but yeah, I've gone on longer than I wanted to, but you guys have been lovely, and I just didn't want to just go, oh, I'm booking off now, like I was sulking or something. Um, yeah, during the lockdown, we were growing like crazy, but the end of lockdown ended us. Yeah, but Buddha also realized that the first fucking one of the first truths about life was suffering. Um, Modern Buddhists will try and deny that and say he meant something else, but no, he didn't. He meant that one of the fucking pillar stones of life is suffering, and it's true because suffering will make you learn. It will give you character. It will do a lot of things as long as it's not done in excess. Um, yeah, you'll email me. I would be grateful to receive an email from you. Um, who call you? Me? I don't know your number, do I? Or are you talking to someone else? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But it's good to see you again, Rachel. Sucker. I'll email you, sucker. Yeah. So I think I should call it a day there, guys, don't you? I'm sorry for moaning. I am sorry for moaning. I mean that. Um, and I'm sorry if I've come across like a diva. That's not my intention. I'm sorry if I come across entitled. That's definitely not my intention. I don't feel entitled. I know that we need to work for everything we get. I'm fully aware of that. And if I've done something to push people away, I hope you'd all be honest enough to tell me that it was me and that I'd done what I'd done. Um, but I think you would. So I'm just going to say one more time, I love you all. Thank you so much for everything. And where we go from here doesn't matter. Um, where we've been matters. Where we've been matters. Thank you. I'm Tom Suri, Zero, whatever you want to call it. And I'll call it a day for now. Or we'll be in a minute. Hang on a second. I can't remember how to use this sucker. It's been a little while. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Right. All I'll say is off bollocks with you then. Whose streets are streets? Whose streets are streets? Catch you soon, guys.
Welcome to the desert of